Welcome to Truth, Money, and Freedom, where we discuss everything about truth, money, and freedom with your hosts, Timmy Chonga, Conjecture, and American Man 1967. We're coming to you from our Discord server, also named Truth, Money, and Freedom. An invite to our Discord platform is linked below in the description for anyone to join in on the conversation. Today, February 10th, 2019, we're looking at a possible bank run at Wells Fargo. The information on this is kind of sparse today, but we'll go ahead and put together what we know and link references in the description section of the video. And I'd kind of like to start by saying that this isn't the first time Wells Fargo has had problems. In fact, the problems they've had before were self-induced through fraud, just sheer fraud. And this is something I think most of our listeners are familiar with. From 2013, I believe, all the way into 2016 or 2017, they had created fake accounts in which they were drawing fees from, but they were putting the fees in people's regular accounts. So they were creating brand new accounts with their customer data, charging fees for those accounts, and then charging their existing customers on their actual real, their accounts that were real. So there's been lots of fines, lawsuits, lots of talk about this as well. In fact, if you look into, a couple of the pages we have here, in fact, I'll go ahead and show one of those right now. And this is a website, and actually shows, basically we've got a brand new head of the western region of Wells Fargo. His name is Steve Troutner. And he's an outsider. It's been hired to run the local branches after the scandal in the West Coast, which is where almost all of the scandal was in branches in the West Coast. But a lot more has happened since then, in fact, as recently as last week. And I'd like to bring in our other co-hosts to talk about that a little bit. It doesn't matter which one of you wants to start talking first. American Man, if you want to. Talk a little bit about the bank outages last week.
Yeah, well, I think I remember hearing about this. I don't know too much about it, but got a lot of problems going on up there.
Well, the
I'm
story
trying to find.
that we know so far is apparently there was a server outage, and it affected lots of branches
Yeah,
all over the United States, and there was a lot of people that literally couldn't get their money out. And in
yeah,
fact, it wasn't just paying bills. I mean, it was. We got the story here from CNBC right now. That they were actually having issues actually showing that their checks were deposited from their employers. So they literally would say that deposit wasn't there. So they didn't have the money to withdraw or to draw against to pay bills. Um, and so,
but
go ahead.
um, but I believe, if I remember correctly, there wasn't that same problem or similar problem to Wells Fargo's personal accounts from the employees.
Yes, I believe
But
that's true.
so I'm confused about that. Why is that?
Well, basically, the employees were having accounts at Wells Fargo as well, and it was an actual Wells Fargo outage. So now, if you're referring to the actual story about employees with Wells Fargo having problems but no one else, um, I'm not equipped to deal with that today.
All
Um,
right.
but I think I remember hearing something about that, and that was probably nearly a year ago, 6 months to a year ago. But
Well, maybe that's the first story I heard.
okay. Yeah, so yeah, but they have had problems in the past. We all know this, and banks do have issues. Their systems that they've designed are not perfect. They're not foolproof. However, the funny thing in this particular story is there doesn't seem to have been any kind of backup service for their primary server going down. And that's another thing too. If you
Okay.
and we'll link up these stories down below. But basically, what they're saying is there was a fire supposedly where the server was, and basically the fire
But
department. Go ahead.
there was a fire, but there was no fire.
That's correct. That's what I was about to get to. You were correct. So
I'm sorry, I
basically,
didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
Go
that's a
ahead.
good point. Here's what I read actually. There was apparently a fire that broke out where they were storing their server. That was at 5 a.m., but the fire department was called at 9 a.m. and told there wasn't a fire. So
Well, there's a big gap in time.
there is indeed. So, hey, conjecture. Let's bring you into this. I know you've looked into it a little bit. Do you have any thoughts on the outage or the fact that customers couldn't get into their, accounts? They couldn't withdraw funds?
It is quite unprofessional not to have a backup system running simultaneous to the primary system.
Yeah, you would think so. In fact, that's, shoot, a lot of financial industries have servers, backup servers in underground facilities. For instance, the Springfield Underground or the Branson Underground, and there's many of them all over the United States, where they have full internet connectivity with fiber, and they provide the backups for their servers from these locations. But apparently, Wells Fargo either didn't have a backup or it wasn't working. It's probably one of the
Or
two.
their backup didn't have a backup.
Yeah, so the redundancy wasn't there. Also, Conjecture brought up something kind of interesting about Wells Fargo and its stress test results under the Dodd-Frank Act. Now, he didn't bring it up specifically to find out what their stress test was. He brought it up for another reason. Conjecture, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, I brought it up in order to figure out the amount of leveraging they have over the reserve ratio to figure out, or not the reserve rate requirement, to figure out lending to deposit ratio.
And we came up with a 4.5%.
That was the legal minimum requirement. Theirs on their total risk-based capital is 13.5%. I ran the numbers on that.
Okay, gotcha. So basically, what you're saying is, if I bring a dollar in and deposit it, they keep 13.5 cents of it and they loan the rest of it out. Is that what you're saying?
Roughly, yes. For every dollar you deposit, they can loan out $6
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
when you work out the implications.
yep. Fractional reserve lending is what conjecture is referring to. Um, but it seems to me, and let's have a quick discussion about this, guys. What are your feelings about? I mean, all this stuff going on with Wells Fargo. Does it seem like a safe place to have your money?
No, not at all. And the reason why, it just seems too convenient to me that, first of all, that this whole situation took place to begin with. Second of all, because they weren't prepared for something like this. And third of all, their excuse seems to be nothing but a false flag to me as well.
Yeah, it seems that way to me as well. I hate to, just be an echo chamber in here, but um, the fact that they're having problems, they've already been caught engaging in fraud. They've still got
Right, right.
fines and all kinds of lawsuits to pay off just on that fraud that they haven't finished paying off. Warren Buffett, big investor in Wells Fargo, and he's slowly pulling out his money as an investor. I mean, that should tell us something as well. Um, so, yeah, it seems to me we got problems with Wells Fargo. Let me bring
How
up one.
much you want to bet?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna.
I was going to say how much. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm
no,
sorry
that's all
to
right. I
interrupt.
was gonna go ahead and bring up the Silver Report Uncut video. Silver Report Uncut is a YouTuber, and rather than go any further until we actually understand the full implications of this, he's talking about withdrawal limits at their ATMs. Now, I can't, he doesn't post his sources here, but I am going to go ahead and link up his video in the description here for anyone who wants to watch it. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but that also has very serious implications. I mean, this is the kind of thing that the quote unquote conspiracy theorists have been warning about for quite some time, is withdrawal limits
Right.
on cash from the bank. So I'm sorry for interrupting you earlier, American Man. You had some thoughts?
Yeah, I was just going to say, along with what you just mentioned, that I believe this is going to become an ongoing trend with banks, especially here on the West Coast. And I believe that it's being done on purpose. So,
Okay.
That's just my thought.
Okay. Thank you for that. Conjecture, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yes, the banking system has quite far in this new Keynesian paradigm in which bank.
I'm sorry, Conjecture, you're breaking up on us.
Yeah, I lost you. No, no conjecture.
Okay, understood.
I believe I disconnected there.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead, Conjecture. I'm sorry, we lost you for a second.
We have a lot of banks that are under just unprecedented times in the United States and much of the West. We're going through in the Western world, what Japan has already gone through, in which banks are able to make withdrawals, or not withdrawals, but loans in near zero, if not -% interest rates.
Yep, understood. And by the way, that's a very uh, sound reality that's coming here to the United States. We're probably going negative in our interest rates. It may not happen in 2019, but if it doesn't happen in 2019, you can bet it's going to probably happen in 2020. And I'm not a guy who likes to give out dates on these things, but it seems to me that they have no other choice. If they want to keep the system alive and keep the pain, basically the inflation going, the big inflation going, they're pretty much going to have to go to negative interest rates. That's my opinion anyway.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. With that, I'll tell you what. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up from here. But I want to first of all thank Conjecture and American Conjecture, and I'm sorry about that. He had connectivity issues. But I want to thank American Man and Conjecture both for coming in and joining on the podcast. And I want to let you know, those of you who are listening to our channel, we want to let you know how much we appreciate that you've taken a few minutes out of your day to listen to our videos, watch our videos, try and inform yourself. We've changed our platform just a little bit. We've got a new YouTube account we're working with. We're going into doing more podcasts rather than just interviews, and that way we can get more critical information out faster. And so we just want to say thank you for actually coming in and actually listening to our videos. And please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. That would be very helpful. And once again, American Man, thank you for being with us this evening, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.